Do you want to give us a short intro to what we're doing today while I start sharing my screen?
Oh, yeah. So today we're doing something super, super exciting. We're learning Claude Skills, and I'm super excited to actually learn how to use them. Just tell us, like, what do we need for skills? Where do we set that up? How we do that? Tell us everything.
I want to just give a quick overview of what skills are and how they're different to everything else that you have in this Claude ecosystem. There's just so many new things now, and even this week they introduced agents, which I'm not sure if that renders OpenClaw kind of useless, but we'll see, I guess. I have not tested it. Apparently, Claude has its own agents now.
When you say you have a latest version, you are thinking of Claude Code and Cowork, yeah?
Yeah, just the latest of the Claude app. So like if you downloaded it this year, it's good. Okay, so Claude Skills, think of it basically like a playbook or a manual of instructions that you give your Claude in order to complete a task. So this is different than prompting because then you don't need to prompt, essentially. If you work in Claude a lot, you probably find yourself kind of continually having to like have a conversation and prompt, which is, it takes time. There are certain things that I do on a weekly or daily basis that I just don't want to prompt anymore. I don't want to have to open a Claude code or Cowork chat and describe what I need because I know exactly what I need and it doesn't really change that much week to week. We all have some of those tasks. So then I create a skill from it.
Can you tell me which kind or which type of tasks are those?
Yes, I currently just have on my screen open the Anthropic Skills Community GitHub. You're not sure what skills you want to make based on your own current workflows. You can go in here and browse through different skills that other people made. It might give you an idea. I do think it's worth creating yours because everyone has like a slightly different workflow, so you don't necessarily want to use a workflow of a different person. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show that if you are struggling where to start, you can always just go here.
Sorry, does that mean that I need GitHub in order to have skills?
No, you don't. Yeah, no, you don't. This is just a page where they keep them. So instead of it being like on a website, it's in GitHub.
Okay. I feel a little lighter about it because I started panicking and I was like, if I need a GitHub for that, I may give up right now.
Yeah, no, luckily not. When you need to download like an app or something and it takes you to the GitHub to download it, I'm just like, okay, I'll do it. But
exactly.
I wish this was easier. Can you just put it in the App Store, please? Very easy way to understand skill is think of Claude, Cowork, and Code as like, this is your kitchen and skills are like your recipe. You might have a few of your favorite meals that you rotate every week and you're not gonna like Google a new recipe of the same meal every single time you cook it. You're going to like save it to your Pinterest. You're going to save it to your note-taking app. You're going to, you're going to reuse it. You don't want to like start that process from scratch every single time you try to make the meal. And technically, skills look at them as like a folder. So in that folder, you will then have something called skill.md, which is basically just a markdown file of the exact instructions that Claude needs to follow in order to complete this task that you're giving it. And then everything else that you give it is optional, but obviously encouraged. So different resources, just like we've been talking about for the past few episodes. Give it any resources you have, any code, any, existing materials. And then it just keeps all of that in that one folder. And that is a skill, essentially.
I have two questions. The first one is it essentially like instructions in projects in chat?
That is a really good question. So it is very similar to projects because you've been using projects a lot. I know that like last year and this year. Two important distinctions from the projects, but it is essentially the same thing. So the project, you feed it context and a specific set of instructions that you want Claude to use. However, once you make that into your project, you can't move it around. You can't use it in like a different chat. You have to keep everything contained in that one project. The projects, at least that was my experience last year, the projects within Claude, yes, there was a set of instructions, but I feel like it kept forgetting them throughout different chats. Like I had to continually be like, make sure that you follow the instructions I set for this project, both in Claude and ChatGPT. And that's again, an annoying prompt that I have to like write every single time. So they didn't really work that well. They didn't have the context and memory to pull from. And then secondly, with these skills, first of all, you can use them in any chat that you open. So they're yours across your entire, Claude account. So you can use them in any chat and you don't need to start a new one. You can use it in an existing one. And what I like to do is you can even stack them. So if I'm working on a really big project, I can activate one skill and then I continue working and then I'm like, oh, I actually have a skill for this specific thing that I needed to do. And then I just kind of stack those skills within a chat, which you can't do in a project. Does that make sense?
Yes. And it's still like I use projects a lot, as you said, but I still need to write in every chat, like make sure you use instructions to do this and that.
Exactly.
And then I still need to prompt it additionally to fix something, to edit something, or I
Yeah.
need to do it manually. The other question that I had is where the skills live. Do they live in context folder of the project I'm running? For example, if I have 5 projects that I connect to Claude Code, I wanted to say like Claude and code in the same time, so it was like Claude, Claude.
That happens to me so much. And I hear it from other people on podcasts as well. It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Like branding. Hello.
I've heard some people say Claude, like intentionally because Claude
Uh-huh.
Code, because it really is a mouthful. Like we're gonna need to step it up, Claude. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't partake in that. I don't enjoy saying Claude. Like it's
Claude,
not good.
Claude. Claudia coding. So I have 5 projects, 5 different context folders that I use when Claudia is coding something for me. So where those skills live and are they interchangeable for those context folders?
Yes, because it's not based in any of the folders that you created. So it's one of those beautiful things as a non-technical person where does it live? Technically, it told me here in the chat, but I don't need to know about it. It's none of my business. So it says it lives at Claude-skills-project proposal, yada yada. So it's like in a folder where it can find it, but it's not confined within the folders that you use, for example, like for different clients and stuff like that. So you don't need to be like organizing that part. It just has all of your skills in one place and it can easily resurface them in every conversation, regardless of what folder you connected to that conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to give a quick look into how I created this skill based on an existing chat. So for example, I had a Claude Code chat open. It's very long. I was using it to create project proposals for clients. So after I'm done with a sales call, I need to turn that into a project proposal, but I had a very, very specific set of instructions that I wasn't sure if a skill could hack without me kind of working through a few of them in a chat. So I provided a template. I provided obviously the transcript of the meeting. I always gave it like the exact name of the company and name of the person that I was speaking to, because sometimes transcripts don't really pick up names well. And then I have it in the project proposal, and then that's very embarrassing if someone like receives a project proposal with their name and not written correctly. I feel like that's an immediately lost client. So I would do a little bit of prep work, and I had an established template. I have to say, in 2025, it would still take me like solid 30 minutes to just generate a proposal that I was happy with. You know, sending a project proposal, especially when you're a contractor, that could be a make it or break it moment. So you do need to work on it. It's not just like, oh, whatever, here's this document that you're going to sign alongside a contract. It's like, no, if you do a good call, but then your project proposal sucks, you might not land that client. So it is an important step, and I wanted to make sure that it's done in the quality that I need. So basically, I went through creating a few project proposals through this chat, just talking you through it. It's like, here's my template, here's a transcript, do what you need. And then I kind of worked with it. I was like, okay, well, for 2026, maybe I want to do this, and I always want to write it like this. And, you know, we changed our pricing based on 2025. Here's what you need to account for. So it has all of that context. And then I simply just told it, here's literally the...
I followed. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm not logistically prepared for this.
yeah. But yeah, this is what I said. Can you turn everything we did in this conversation into a Claude skill? Capture the workflow, rules, formatting preferences, and any patterns we established, and draft a skill.md I can install. And then it read the whole chat that we had. It reviewed all of the comments that I made and all of the files that I have connected in my folders. And it just said the skill is created. Here's what you need to know. And then it kind of gives you basically a rundown on how to use this. So it says you need to use dash project proposal and see it immediately resurfaces it here so that I don't really need to even remember exactly how I named it. And then it gives you a quick description like create a personalized startup cookie project proposal for a new client lead based on a sales call transcript. Use when Barbara says she needs a project proposal, mentions a new lead, or provides a call transcript. It tells Claude what to do and what materials that I gave it to it needs to use. So like it knows that it needs to use my template, it needs to use a meeting transcript, and obviously this was just like a peek into the script. It has the markdown has all of the instructions that I've given it. And let's test this. Let me connect my folders first because that's where my template is. So I'm going to connect startup cookie context docs. I have a specific folder there that's called project proposals, and I have 2025 and 2026 ones. And then I'm just gonna prompt it with the project proposal. I spoke to a new lead. I'm just taking a transcript from a current client so that we can. I probably don't even need to say things like, I spoke to a new lead, the company's called this and this. I think that's like a human part of me that's like I still feel the need to like tell it what to do. But realistically, I could just click project proposal and here's a transcript from our call. I probably don't even need to do this. If you have a transcript that is easy to download, you can just put that into your folder with like a date or something like that, and then it will just grab it from there. So you don't necessarily need to copy paste it. So yeah, now it's going to work on it and we can review the result.
Okay, I'm sitting here and I'm already like mixing in my head what will I try.
Right?
Yeah. Because I mean, I love projects, but this sounds like 2 or 3 levels up. But
Yeah.
my question now is, can I actually share this with someone within my team? Because, for example, when I set the project, I share that with my team, and then whoever is working on that project, we have the same instructions. So, is that possible with skills as well?
Yes, definitely. And also, you are so perfectly primed for OpenClaw. You have no idea. I think you're gonna love OpenClaw and any agent stuff because that's exactly what it's doing. You can share the skill MD, which is, by the way, just a file. So if you just share that file from your computer with another person, then they have that skill now. And their Claude can now absorb the skill that you made. So you're basically like sharing your expertise, which is essentially what agents are doing now between themselves.
You're not going to convince me to use OpenClaw, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. It's
Like, I
just like,
love that you're excited about it, but no.
yeah, girl, it's just not gonna happen. I love this because this means I can make really, really detailed instructions and share it with my team members, and then we can work together on the same things.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you don't have to, they don't have to ask you for it. It's like, oh, how do you do this? Like, here's my markdown file, and here's exactly how I do it. Especially if you already use the chat to go through like an entire workflow of how you do something with Claude before you created a skill, then it will literally have everything that you or your team might need, which is great.
Beautiful. Can it be updated? For example, if I created it and I shared with a team member, what I love about projects is that my team member, she can also update instructions when, for example, we go through few iterations, then her or I, we figured that something can be updated with instructions for the project. project, we do that, but can we do same with a skill?
I think you do have to update the markdown file, but if you both have that skill already on your computer, it's just about telling Claude to just update the skill, which you should be doing kind of regularly anyway. There's probably certain skills that like you got them locked and loaded and that's just what you need them to do. But most of them, like for example, for this project proposal that it's, by the way, now done with, it's like I'm gonna maybe change pricing, I'm gonna maybe change structure, I'm gonna maybe change offering, and then I will update the skill itself. So I know how my templates look, so I can figure out pretty quickly if it did a good job or not.
I
So.
hope it did because I jinxed a lot of things today, so I hope I didn't.
I know it did do a good job because I've been using this for like 6 months now, so it's like fine. Okay, I think it's this one. Yes.
Did you maybe
Okay.
use before this? Did you maybe use Gamma for presentations and this kind of proposals, or no? Like, what did you
Gamma.
use?
No.
Gamma
Yeah.
is basically like you prompt presentation and it creates like you do the prompt of what you need and what it needs to contain, what you want to do,
Oh, right.
and it makes the
Yes.
whole presentation for you.
Yeah, actually, I did use that for a few webinars, and I was very impressed with the design it did. I was like, I don't think I need any changes to this. The only advice I will give you if you're using it for webinars, because it lives in Gamma, so you can just open and present from Gamma itself. 30 minutes before the webinar, Gamma is having an issue. There's like a outage, there's something happening, and I see it happens quite often because they email you. It's like, systems are down, we're working on it. And I'm like, and I'm 30 minutes before the webinar and we didn't download the presentation. So if I can't go into Gamma, I can't access the presentation. So luckily
Oh,
yeah, it was fine. But I was like, okay, always download at least a PDF so that you can work without it.
yeah.
But yeah, Gamma was, it made a really good presentation basically just in like one go.
Great, great, great. Yeah, I tested it a few times. I'm not a huge on presentations myself. I mean, I rarely make presentations. So yeah, but what did we get from?
Yeah. So the main reason I never used Gamma or anything like that is it's just a doc. There's no visuals.
Uh-huh.
It has the exact outline of what I want for each presentation. I'm not terribly worried about these spaces because I often send this in a Google Doc anyway. But yeah, it has everything that we might need here, and it outlines my entire package exactly how I instructed it, exactly how I want it. It has copied the links of our work examples as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. Has all the links that we need, and I would be fine just sending this off as is.
Nice.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
And tell me what is the difference when you do Claude Skills like out of existing chat? For example, like you showed us how you created skill of something that you were already doing on Claude and you were going back and forth and everything. I know that also like you can just click on the toolbox and it says like that you can make a new skill. Did you try like doing that from scratch without like summarizing previous interactions?
Yes. And I thought maybe we can do a quick one now.
Oh, I did. Oh, yes. Sorry, my mother tongue goes out whenever I'm excited. So yeah, let's try it.
Yay. Okay. I love it. We are both speaking Serbian as our native language. So it comes out sometimes. Okay, yeah. So I figured we would just make a quick one for ourselves and just see how that process is because it can be very simple. Not to put you on the spot, but is there one that you would like to see created, or should I just do whatever I kind of feel like?
I wasn't thinking about one because wasn't sure how they work.
Okay.
So you can just go whatever you want, and I will maybe think about something else
Okay.
additionally.
Okay, cool. I also wanted to show just a quick summary. This is a resource directly from Claude, but I thought that it explains how to create skills very well. You don't need to have an existing chat in order to create a skill. I think there's a lot of value in just, sitting down with Claude, whether you're typing or just speaking, and describing what your current process for something is, and maybe even talking to Claude how you can make it better, how you can improve it, how it can be more efficient. Basically, just give him what you have right now and just ask it what it can do to maybe improve that process. And then you have like a bit of a back and forth with Claude before you actually start the skill. And then instructing it what resources to use and what context it needs to have every single time it runs the skill. So it's good to be specific, much like with other prompts. So don't just say like validate the data before proceeding. It's like tell it exactly what you want it to do. So like in this example, it says you need to run a certain scripts to check the data format. If that validation fails, combinations include this, this, and this, and then reference what you needed to look into. So like before writing anything, consult this, this, and this. And you can also create a lot of these MD documents that outline a lot of these like skills or references that you need each skill to reference. So you're kind of building this like beautiful ecosystem of what you needed to do, and it will have a bunch of context and it will just keep getting better and better.
How do I know which script it needs to run or what needs to do to validate certain things? Like I'm just a girl. I'm no engineer.
Good, neither am I. But you should always, if you're starting with skills for the first time, maybe take a workflow that you are very familiar with already. So something that you literally do on a weekly basis or a daily basis that you know in and out. So for project proposals, I know where my templates are. I know where my transcripts are. I know exactly where I need to change information within that template. And if there are any reference docs, like, I don't know, we have different work examples for different industries. I know where I'm pulling that from because I have for a while been doing it literally myself, like manually. So that's why it's easy to
God
just kind of
forbid.
say exactly what you need. And I know that it maybe, I think it maybe kind of overwhelmed you when I said like you can have different MD files that it can reference. Just think of that. It's just files. It's just files with text. .md, it's just a file with like text in it. It's really nothing more complicated than that. It's just not like in a Google Doc or like a Word document. But it's still just text. And it's text that you can read. It just has instructions for Claude, and you can have many different ones. Now, as marketers, realistically, I think our process is not that complicated. You can also tell it in which folder to use it, but honestly, if you just give it the exact name of the document, it will find that folder wherever it is. I remember several times prompting Claude to be like, use this specific doc that's in this folder, and then I see it like searching for it, and it's just like, okay, well, it wasn't in that folder, it was in the downloads, but okay, I found it now. I'm like, oh, okay. So you know better than me, it seems like.
Yeah. With me, it was the opposite. I was like, use this specific image from this specific folder, and like I gave it like all specific things, and
Yeah.
it was like, can I get access to all apps and all everything on your computer because I can't find it? I was like, no, just go to the fucking content doc and find it. And it was like, oh yeah, you're right. It was here all along.
Yeah. So that works if you know that it's in that folder. I have stuff kind of everywhere. I'm not too bad at organization, but I'm not like, if I'm put on the spot, I can't fully guarantee that it's there. Anthropic even says it here. So like you should keep your skill.md focused on those core instructions. Like don't include every single, detail that you possibly might want, because you can also make more detailed documentation as a reference.
Okay, so because we designed and built a website and then we deployed the website, and now website needs to be updated regularly. We have the flow for that, like those are like previous episodes, but we need to work on SEO for website, for example.
Yeah.
Is it possible that one skill can be like on-page optimization? Because we have a whole
Ooh.
workflow where it's like extracting from the lives we have. Claude is extracting what we are talking about, and then it's making a workflow like step by step that is publishing on the blog. Can we have a
Yes.
skill on, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just so excited. I was like, that's a great idea, actually.
I mean, I was just thinking like what could be um possible solution for that, because we also need to connect Google Search Console to that website. Luckily, like Claude can now connect to Google Search Console as well.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe that can be like a topic or a project for next live or next few lives, but maybe we can on the spot like connect Google Search Console to our website so we can track if. So I would love to learn if AI content is actually possible to rank, because everything on that website is AI generated.
We have this as a skill. We can not only optimize every single content piece before it goes out, but we can instruct the skill to basically review content on a regular basis. I don't know what's best for SEO. Like, how often do you like go in and review content again, update anything that needs updating?
So before AI era, like LLM era, it was like a yearly task. But right now, I've noticed that after 3 months, it's dropping out. It needs to be, and the dropouts are massive, but really massive. We don't have to do it monthly. We can do it bi-monthly.
But if we establish a skill, then we don't have to think about it later on. Oh, you want to work on? Okay. It's a craft. It's a craft. Vana just really misses SEO.
I mean, I do it. I do it at Cambridge as well. So I will prepare the doc and everything, and we can have that in next session. So
Yeah.
we can build foundation of the website, because it needs to count like interlinks. It needs to count like keywords. It needs to count like positioning, how it forms everything, how it creates FAQs, how it makes the reading
Yeah.
flow, how it breaks down with certain text, etc., etc., etc. Is it using JavaScript or not? What's rendering? What's not rendering? Yeah, I think we're not able to put it like in 7 minutes. So whatever you're typing, you can
Stop
just
it.
do. Yeah. No, you can just do a quick kill just to show people like how to
Yeah.
make it from scratch.
I wanted to get a quick prompt that we can use for this skill that I was writing while you were talking. Now, I know that we're not going to have a finished skill now, but we should have a skill that basically says, so I explained that our website, Two Girls, One Claude, is populated with content every single week. We have a blog section with weekly blog posts being published from our LinkedIn Live transcripts with Claude Code workflows. We want to make sure each blog is optimized for SEO. We also want the already published content reviewed every 3 months to make sure the text is updated and optimized. And we will have an SEO strategy developed that you can follow for every single post. And then I just asked it, what would be a good prompt to create this skill with? Is there anything that we haven't thought of or you're missing? Because essentially we will have a Claude skill that instructs it how to optimize our content. And then we will have a separate MD file that explains exactly our SEO strategy. So what you were saying, maybe we can do that for the next LinkedIn Live. So it's like develop the entire SEO strategy that then we can feed this skill with. And then that SEO strategy can always be updated and this skill will be pulling from that. So we don't need to have it right now, but we can still create a skill. And then I just told it we will have an SEO strategy in the folder where you can kind of pull from it. It says, I can see you already have a solid SEO foundations. I don't know about that, but okay. It's basically telling us what it needs. A good skill prompt should handle 2 workflows, new post optimization, and quarterly review. And that will reference our SEO strategy doc as the source of truth. So that's what we're going to be making next time and then feeding it to this skill. And then it basically gave me the core prompt structure for this skill. So now when we make this SEO strategy doc next time, I just say, okay, here's the doc. Now generate this skill. Because it has already everything you need. And it told us what we're missing or maybe haven't thought of. Oh, interesting. It says, recommended approach. I suggest creating 2 skills rather than 1. So 1 for optimizing posts and then 1 for quarterly reviews, which makes sense.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So when we have
I'm super excited for this.
I know. I think this is going to be good. Because when we have that, I can just put it in our folder and tell it exactly where it is. And I just tell it to make the skill.
Got it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next Thursday already.
I know. I think it's going to be good because we already have, well, this is our 5th live. So we will have 5 blog posts on the website.
Wow.
That's pretty solid.